Am I the asshole for announcing our pregnancy at Xmas knowing my SIL has had miscarriages? My brother and his wife have been trying to get pregnant, but unfortunately she's had 6 miscarriages. That sucks, I know, I'm not discounting that at all. That being said, she's a center of attention kind of person. She will shit-talk other people all day long and try to make herself look like the best person in the room. If anyone else gets attention, she tries to take it away from them, usually by putting them down verbally, or by getting another dog or cat. Most of the animals she has were obtained right after other people she knew got pregnant. And #X200B. Well, wife and I got pregnant, discussed at length with how we should approach this. Keeping my SIL in mind was the main topic of conversation. We didn't want to upset her, but we also didn't feel like it was right to let her dictate our actions and make it impossible to celebrate the life that we're creating. So we made T-shirts, announcing the pregnancy. Not gloating it, just announcing it. And #X200B. Christmas time, we come over to my mom's place, do present exchange, then change shirts. My mother was very happy, but I could see the look on my SIL face, upset. She didn't say anything and just shut herself in the bathroom, then left early later on in the day. And #X200B. Next day she sends this message to my wife. And #X200B. To say I'm disappointed is an understatement. We have had conversations about how hard infertility is during the holidays, and how hard, debilitating it is. Bro. And I have lost 6 babies. 6. We have 6 dead children, wife. Springing you're pregnant on, bro. And I like that was uncalled for and completely ruined not only mine, but, bro, Christmas. You could have sent me a heads-up text about this, so we had time to process this. And if your excuse is, oh I didn't want it to ruin the surprise for mom, you're wrong. It's a completely invalid fear. Because I would never ruin a surprise like that. Not only that, but you also saw how that affected me, and you wouldn't stop talking about it. You're excited, sure. But read the room, wife. I can't tell you how much that damaged our relationship, and honestly. I don't know how many holidays I'm going to be there for now because of what you did. What you did was completely selfish and careless. It showed me you really don't care about me. And honestly, had we gotten a heads-up text, I'd be happy for you. But right now? I'm not. You both ruined Christmas for us. IDK why you thought that was such a good idea. You also had an entire hour to do it before we got there. I had to leave early because I couldn't stand being there for another minute in a house that I didn't feel loved in. And #X200B. The only time we talked about it was when my family was asking questions, due date, gender, etc. It's not like we were talking about it throughout the day. And #X200B. Am I the asshole, are we the assholes, for having decided to do the pregnancy announcement anyways? Ooh, I'm going to swim against the stream with Esh. SIL needs serious therapy, but she isn't wrong to feel her feelings. And you were insensitive. I don't think you were malicious, so I can't go full you are the asshole. But you discussed it beforehand, you both knew it would hurt her, and you did it anyway. In a situation that delicate, a call or text to her, or some other communication would have been more appropriate. You're excited and deserve your moment in the sun. But it costs nothing to be kind. ETA. Holy wow, y'all. I've never had a comment blow up like this, and I really thought people were going to come for me. Thanks so much for all the love. So we made T-shirts, announcing the pregnancy. Not gloating it, just announcing it. Yeah, you were gloating. You rubbed her face in your pregnancy. You are the asshole for doing that. You could have easily announced the pregnancy with tact. Am I the asshole for reminding my stepmother about how she really met my father? I, 21M, was at my father's house for Christmas this year. Most of my paternal family was there, but the only people relevant to this situation are my dad, 49M, his wife Sasha, 39F, my sister Jasmine, 18F, and her boyfriend Mike, 21M. Jasmine is my only full sister and we're extremely close. She's currently 3 months pregnant, which obviously isn't ideal since she's only 18, but I'm going to support her regardless. I do not like her boyfriend, but he's good to her and able to provide for her and the baby. Sasha has always hated Jasmine. No one has any idea why, and my dad prefers to ignore it. After the Christmas dinner, Jasmine, Mike, my dad, Sasha and I were clearly up when Jasmine suddenly felt nauseous and went to sit down. Mike went with her. This is when Sasha decided to begin talking badly about her for being a pregnant teen and for being unmarried. She then started saying that she thinks that Jasmine got pregnant on purpose because Mike's family is wealthy, which doesn't make any sense since our family is well off too. Sasha is known for saying horrible things to get a reaction, so I was ignoring her, so was my dad, until she asked me how I felt about my younger sister having a child with someone older than me. Literally only 4 months older than me. At this point, I was done, so I stopped washing the dishes and I told her to shut her mouth because she broke up my parents' marriage. That's when my father finally decided to get involved, but I went on and reminded Sasha of the fact that when Jasmine was little, she was in hospital a lot and she, Sasha, was one of the nurses that cared for her on the ward, and she began an affair with my father. I also decided to remind her of how her eldest child, my half-sister, was born 8 months after she married my dad. The situation devolved into shouting, and turns out a lot of my paternal family didn't know the truth about how my dad and Sasha met. I ended up leaving, and so did Jasmine and Mike and a few other people. Now, my dad is demanding that I apologize to his wife for embarrassing her and making her look bad in front of the whole family. Now I want an unbiased view on whether or not I'm the asshole for rising to my stepmother's bait, her insults to Jasmine, and going lower by exposing her. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your father was dishonest and Sasha provoked this situation to escalate. You defended yourself and your sister. Your father and Sasha are tush. Not the asshole. She has no room to talk about your sister being a pregnant teen when she's a home wrecker. I bring the same stuff up to my father's wife. I'll never refer to her as stepmother, since she's only 2 years older than me, when she starts pointing out flaws in others. Sometimes you just have to put them in their place. Shrugs. And never apologize for telling the truth. Not the asshole. You were fine ignoring her. She then decided to drag you into the mess by explicitly asking for your opinion. Not the asshole. Don't apologize. Your father's lies are out in the open. That's why he's mad. Am I the asshole for making my stepdaughter walk home from the mall? My wife and I have 4 kids, 15, 13, 3, 2. The 15-year-old is mine from a previous relationship and the 13-year-old is hers. We have a nanny for all of the kids. My 13-year-old went out with friends and asked our nanny to pick them up at 2. The younger 2 are asleep at 2, so she left them at home with the oldest and went to pick the 13-year-old and her friends up. At 2:30, the nanny called me and said that 13 and her friends weren't in the car yet and keep saying, almost done, when she asks where they were. The younger 2 are up by 3 and she didn't want to leave the oldest alone with them. I told Our to call 13 and say she had 5 minutes to get to the car or they were walking home, 2 miles. I got a call from 13 maybe 20 minutes later asking me to call them an Uber because the nanny left them. She didn't mention a warning, so I called the nanny and confirmed that she called 13. She sent me a screenshot saying that 13 missed 5 calls from her and read a text warning them that she'd leave them if they weren't in the car in 5 minutes. I called 13 back and told her they were going to have to walk. 13 got home close to an hour later and was furious with both me and our nanny for making them walk and embarrassing her in front of her friends. My wife thinks 13 should have been punished, but I shouldn't have made her walk. Am I the asshole? She agreed at 2 p.m. pickup. She was given numerous reminders. Half an hour later she was given a choice of being at the car within 5 minutes or walking, and she chose to walk. Not the asshole, the 13-YO, for messing the nanny around. Not the asshole, actions have consequences and she found out the consequence. Do you live in a safe area? Not the asshole as long as the area is safe to walk home in. Let's not forget the timeline. 13 asked to be picked up at 2. At 2:30 nanny called mom and was told to tell her that she had 5 minutes to get to the car or she was walking home. So it's already 2:35 when nanny left. By the time she rings requesting an Uber it's going to be 2:50-ish. That's 50 minutes late. That's entitled behavior and needs to be nipped in the bud. Am I the asshole for removing the door to my son's room indefinitely? Yesterday while I was making lunch I heard a really loud sound, as if the ceiling was falling or a bookshelf had fallen. My husband, 41M, and daughter, 17F, were out. The only other person in the house was my son, 16M. I was pretty sure he was in his room, which is at the opposite side of the house from the kitchen, so while making my way there I checked every room and everything seemed in order. I knocked on my son's door and called his name, no answer. I must have called 3 times before trying to open the door, which was locked. At this point I was getting really freaked out. thinking that maybe he tipped his wardrobe or bookshelf and it had fallen over him and he was passed out on the floor. I was basically screaming his name, no answer. I have no idea how I did it. I just threw myself the door and it broke. Now, clearly the door was already weak, I'm thinking termite. But, yeah, it broke. My son was fine. He was freaked out about the door but fine. The sound was his TV with the volume at the max, apparently. And he didn't answer me calling because he didn't want me bothering his movie. His words were, "You were screaming like a harpy and it was annoying, I was trying to watch the movie. Fix the door." I said no. I wasn't going to fix it since to fix it, I would have to buy a new door and doors are expensive. And as soon as his dad got home he would remove the door entirely as it was too broken to just stay there. He got really mad. Said it's his right to have a door, he deserves his privacy. I said he had a door and while I was the one that broke it and it was a consequence of his actions, so if he wanted a door he would have to buy it. I know he doesn't have the money for it right now. Until then, no door. He can change in the bathroom. He said fuck you, I said he was grounded. Am I the asshole about the door? My husband is fine with it, says only I know how scared I was, so only I can know the appropriate punishment. I'm now terrified that if anything happens where we really need to reach my son, we won't be able to. But I have calmed down since and I'm wondering if maybe I'm the asshole. Not the asshole. Replace the door, remove the TV from his room. YWBTA for not getting him a new door. He needs privacy, he doesn't need a TV. Think of different and better ways to discipline that don't remove his privacy and space. Kids typically don't need a TV. If he didn't answer because of the TV, take that away, not his door. I usually say parents are always asshole for taking away doors, but this? Absolutely not the asshole. But you and your husband need to sit down and think about how to fix your son behavior ASAP, because he's way out of line.